Oh, shit. What the fuck? Hold on.
RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. Hold on. Everything is fucked up. Hold on. Stupid thing. All my buttons aren't working. Hi, guys. I'm sorry about that. I'm sure you could hear me struggling with the machine. Jeez. I couldn't get the music to start. I can't get the eCam to start. What's happening, everybody? It's nice to see you all. Going into the chat room at youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. I figured we'd get together tonight to, I don't know, peer into the future. And yes, because for those who are just joining in or didn't see the news, Republicans won the House tonight, which really does suck. I was holding out hope that the Democrats would win. It is unfortunate that because if we had held on to those 4 seats in New York, it would be a much different story. We would still have a Democratic majority. And then we would be able to get shit done. Now, I mean, I do think Joe Biden will be able to get some things done. I believe that, considering that he certainly has gotten a lot of shit done with the slimmest of majorities, right? But the good news is that the Republicans will not be able to destroy the country because they'll be the stopgap of the Senate and the presidency, of course. And the other good news is that the shit show will be so stark and so beyond compare, that the contrast will be stark, I should say, between the Democrats and the Republicans. But as I'm saying this, I'm thinking, I thought that the contrast was stark already. And, this was not a red wave by any standard, that's for sure. But we won by very slim margins. And I think that's going to be kind of the way it will be going forward. So we need to really get everybody's ass in gear and get out there, because we are up against the propaganda, and propaganda is a real factor. And you know how I feel about the media in general. The corporate media is useless, and because I love the way they're as their Monday morning quarterbacking what happened, but they're kind of taking themselves out of the equations. How did the pundits get it so wrong? You're the fucking pundits. What are you talking about? I've been screaming for years. Enough with these friggin' polls. Up in the polls, down in the polls. Enough. Nobody cares. And how did the pollsters get it so wrong? I don't know. Maybe stop just reporting polls. Maybe report things that actually matter. But then you have the other, what matters to us, an economically vibrant and upwardly mobile working class majority doesn't really matter to them, because they're run by billionaires who pay the millionaires to tell the working class that their problems are because of those lower on the ladder. So we don't ever turn our anger upward, right? Anyway, all right, before I keep going, I just want to say come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster and hang out in the chat room, the greatest chat room in American history. And if you can, please become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin to keep the show going and growing. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat right out of the gate. Thank you so much, Jim. As always, you keep my, you make me feel like I'm not alone in this world. And speaking of, thank you, Richard. Speaking of never alone, thank you. Another great show, Tara. Thank you, Richard. And thank you, thank you all. Thank you, Haiku, for being a moderator. And Jim for also being a moderator. And everyone else. And all the patrons and all the ships at sea. Thank you. But if you can become a patron, that'll help. Also, please support the Tarabuster community. The sponsor, are they sponsored? Well, we're part of a new network called APS Radio News, run by an incredible person. And check out APS Radio News. It's another aggregate of news that is hosting this show, and I'm damn proud to be a part of it. So if you check out APS Radio News and say hi to Charlie, tell Charlie Tara sent you. All right? Very good, very good. All right. So, yeah, I figured let's get together. I do try to... So we do meet here every Friday evening. We have our 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time gathering. And then I do try to do a show during the week. It just so happens that this show tonight, it's a Wednesday night, falls on the night that the House has been called for the filthy fascists. So, which sucks. But yeah, the only I don't know. You know what it is when it came across, the text or whatever, I got the alert on my phone saying that the Republicans had taken the House. I was like, damn. My first thought was, shit. Yeah, we now we have, we gotta. Now it's going to be another 2 years until we have any hope of anything, of universal health care. It just got further away. Another 2 years, right? It's true. So, and I'm like, God damn it. I want to see, in my lifetime, I would really like to see universal health care come to this country in one form or another. I mean, it is seeping into the consciousness. And I do believe that we will get there eventually, because young people in general, they're not, they don't believe. First of all, I'm happy that they are progressive. Of the Gen Z constituency, I think it's like over 70% are identify as Democrats. So that is the constituency that will save us. Yes, Haiku on the chat says, on the bright side, the new House will surely get to the bottom of Jewish space lasers, peach tree dishes, and the gazpacho police. Exactly. Also, there was another thing I saw that Perjury Trader Green said. I think I got, let me see. What did she say? Let's see. Something, because it reveals her ignorance. Oh, no, it was something she tweeted. I got to look that up. But it wasn't a video. It was something she wrote on her, on her Twitter feed. But it revealed what an ignoramus she is. That's the problem with her. That's how all of the, mislabeling or the gazpacho police and peach tree dishes. She doesn't, because she's illiterate. She doesn't read. That's the result of because she's willfully ignorant, she's only heard these things, and she doesn't understand. She doesn't have the intellectual curiosity to get it. She's never read a book in her life, never. I will put money on that. Well, maybe she did. She did go to college, didn't she? But how can you come out of college such a moron? But yeah, there's Trump. I mean, I guess you could do the bare minimum of work. We know that Trump he had other people take his tests and all. But, it's hard to get out of college without reading something. Did she go to college? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. I know that Perjury Trader Green not Perjury Trader Green, the other one, Lauren Band from the bowling alley, Bolbert, has never read a book in her life. There's no doubt. There is no doubt. Hold on. Unless it's like a ghost gun manufacturer or manual. Wait. I'm getting confused on my own Twitter feed. Because I got something on my face and it's bothering me. And it's not my face. It's just tickling my face. It's like, I think there's like a piece of hair stuck to my glasses or something. Let me see. Where is this? That's why I need a producer. But my producer's asleep right now. We like when he's sleeping. He's sweet when he's sleeping. He's very good. He's a good boy. But you know how he gets when we're doing the show. He really wants to be on the show. It's like he's like Lucille. He's like Lucy, right? Lucy and I'm Ricky. I want to be on the show. Wah. That's my producer. Let's see. Perjury Trader Green. Let me see if I look her up. Marjorie. The only reason I'm looking this up right now, and sorry if you're on the podcast listening to this shit. Marjorie. How do you spell Marjorie? Just kidding. Yeah, you just gotta bear with me for a second, because I know I tweeted about it. Tweeted to her. Saying, like, it's just annoying me. That's all. I have to think, I have to look it up to see. I probably won't find it because... Anyway, it's just a word that she said on her Twitter feed that it's on par with gazpacho police. And it reveals that she's a moron. Yeah, anyway, whatever. We'll have to get back to this another time. It's not really worth all this hype that I'm putting into it, really. And if I had a producer, somebody could look it up. Anyway, it's probably, I think whatever. Let's just move on. Maybe if I had a break, I would look during the break, but we don't have breaks on the show. It is what you see is what you get. But you can imagine. It was just some word that she used in context. It didn't belong there. And it was another example of her. She's a moron. She's an illiterate. And it's embarrassing because they're going to put her in leadership positions. She lost her leadership positions. And I'm talking about Perjury Trader Green. Because she, why did she lose them again? I think it was because of her racism, right? Because she's a filthy, disgusting racist, right? Let me see. Marjorie Taylor Greene loses committee or stripped of committee assignments because she doesn't do anything. What does she do anyway, right? On a committee, but that's why she has all this time to do nothing but yell into AOC's mail slot. Well, that was before she was a member of Congress, but she lost her House committee assignments because Kevin McCarthy stripped her of them. What, because he is a well, it's going to be it's going to be unbearable listening to him and watching him in this his role as the speaker. I mean, as the speaker of, oh my God, third in line to the throne. Yes, let me see. House of Representatives has voted to strip Perjury Trader Green of her committee assignments following an uproar over her past incendiary comments and support of violence against Democrats. The vote was 230 to 199, with 11 Republicans joining in. The vote comes a day after the House Rules Committee advanced a resolution to remove Green from her assignments on the Budget Panel and Education and Labor Committee. The Georgia freshman has come under fire for her history of trafficking and racism, anti-Semitism, and basic bitch conspiracy theories. That's the way they, instead of baseless, just call them basic bitch conspiracy theories, along with her support of online comments encouraging violence against Democratic officials. Yeah, that's it. Green spoke on the House floor and said her past comments do not represent me. Yes, that's what she said. I remember this now. It's all coming back. Yeah, that's the way it is with a Republican. It's those past that happened like a month ago. That doesn't represent me. The words coming out of my mouth that only happened a couple of days ago, that is completely not me. And it's only going to get worse. Stay tuned for the committees on Hunter Biden's laptop. It's gonna get disgustingly unbearable. And the only good thing about it is that I hope that we have to pin our hopes on the fact that there are more normal people in the country than there are of them, even though there are a lot of them. Much to my depression, really. It does suck knowing that there are a lot of stupid mofos in this country, and racist dummies, dupes. How much, I mean, what a sad way to go through one's limited lifespan as a dupe, as a Republican dupe. Because why? You can't share this country with people who are different. That's what it's about. They don't like democracy. And now the other day when Poppy was on the show and I made the assertion, or what I always say, that Republicans hate America, right? Conservatives, not all. I guess not all Republicans, because I guess Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, they couldn't take it. The destruction of democracy itself was a bridge too far for them. But so these maggots, that kind of conservative that is attracted to the con man who receive fewer votes, and they're all not all of them. We'll see, more will be revealed, but how they seem to be fleeing him in some form. They're not fleeing him. They will go right back to him, because it's not about what's right, what's decent, what the country needs. It's about what they need personally. And when Poppy pushed back and said, because I said Republicans hate America, and she said, she didn't believe me or whatever. She pushed, she's like, oh no, they don't hate America. No, they do. And because they like whatever version of America they've made up in their mind. They like that version. They like the version where freedom means not giving a shit about anybody else but yourself. But that's not this thing, That's not America. No country. I mean, for all the hypocrisies of the founders, as far as writing all men are created equal while owning other human beings and treating women like nothing. I mean, we can't forget that. Women were not considered full human beings. So, ever. In my lifetime, I mean, my grandmother was born and lived in a world where women couldn't vote. So it's not that long ago, right? But they created this country built on an idea of e pluribus unum. Out of many one, Republicans hate e pluribus unum. They want freedom to not give a shit about anybody else but themselves. And they hate it. They hate this country, so everything about it. They hate the fact that we are a nation of immigrants. That's just the nature of the beast. One of the charges against King George was that he was limiting immigration. I know, I saw that the producer just woke up. Too. I didn't want to look at him, but I could see him in the monitor. He seems to be. I see if I look at him, he's going to come over. So I'll just hope he's grooming away. No, don't say his name 3 times, especially. He's like the candy man. Yes, exactly. What is wrong with the voters? Yeah, it's true. And you know what's wrong with them? It is, in my opinion, it's the media. Throughout history, as you know, what do all authoritarians do? Or any kind of repressive regime, they take over the means of communications because human beings are storytellers and we want to connect with each other, and that's something. And especially if this is an actual free society, the media would be free, right? There would be a free and fair press. We wouldn't have 5 or 6 transnational corporations owning the platforms and owning the message, really. Yeah, it is the media that is the ground zero. And there was a study, and I read it, we talked about it on the show, that the division in the country can be traced to the Telecommunications Act of 1996. So, and which is, you won't hear that on the corporate media. And it drives me insane because all the time when I watch the corporate media, and I always watch with a critical eye, but they lament this division in the country, but it's like the fish, I guess, not being able to see the water it's swimming in. I have no idea. Or maybe they just refuse to see it. It's the same way they refuse to see the part they played in this hyping up the midterms as a red wave and telling the voters that they shouldn't be concerned about democracy. How the voters, they're not going to give a shit about democracy because gas prices are high, or inflation is high, which is not even high comparatively to the rest of the world, but okay. A transient thing, and this is what I would say on the show all the time. It's this too shall pass. Is it? I can't believe we're gonna fall into fascism because gas prices are high. This will pass. It will. And if people are having trouble paying the bills, that it's not. There's bigger issues. exactly. It's about, if having an economically vibrant middle class, which we don't. The middle class is now below 50% of the population. But that would look like being able to survive and continue to thrive in the ups and downs of, the market, that you're not living paycheck to paycheck. And this is a bigger issue that, and the corporate media will never dissect it like that at all. They talk about, they like when Trump shut down the government numerous times, and then they would do stories of people having to go to food banks to make ends meet. And none of these corporate media mouthpieces ever, mention the fact that that's not a functioning society. That's not a middle class. If you work full time and you because the scumbag who's squatting in the White House forces you to miss 2 paychecks and you got to go to a food bank, that means you're not making a living wage. That's not a living wage. And that's a problem. That's the problem. The problem is, in the richest country on earth, what is the meaning of life? What's the meaning of an economy? Is it to make this con man and his pals incredibly rich? Yes, I guess that is. They like to be. It's really incredible. They enjoy being the narcissistic supply of these grifters, these filthy fascist grifters who are they are what do you call it? They are sociopaths. It's really incredible. I'm just getting distracted here for a second. Kari Lake thankfully lost in Arizona because for one thing, thank you, people of Arizona, for not voting. It was a squeaker, but she is unbearable to me. She's like a sociopath or something. There's definitely a narcissism, sociopathy, or some kind of personality, psychological defect, because she is such a fucking grifter and clearly malleable, where she played this progressive when she was working in media, apparently in Arizona, and hung out with other, she hung out with drag queens, apparently. I don't know the whole story about her, but she had no problem with gay people or whatever, trans people, and now she's the biggest, filthiest liar who saw her niche and went for it. She saw herself as this well-spoken maggot, and she's an embarrassment, really. So anyway, she is an embarrassment. Let me play this thing. I don't know if you saw. She was on, and she hasn't conceded yet, of course, because that's the new Republican way. You see, when you lose, you cry foul, and I hope that people are getting sick of it. I saw that they lambasted her on Saturday Night Live. That's great, but that we have to continue to never give up, never concede an inch with these people, because they want it all. They don't want to share democracy. They hate democracy. They don't want to share the country. They want to destroy the country. They would rather destroy this country. They would rather destroy everything that everyone who ever fought, bled, and died for this country gave their lives for. right? They would rather destroy that than actually have a functioning democracy that works for all. It really is. And that's why I was saying to Poppy, they hate America. They hate it so much, they want to tear it down. That's why their answer to the midterms, it's, we lost in the midterms. Now, if Democrats lose in the midterms, what do? Their answers are usually consist something of, we got to be more like Republicans, right? That's always the answer. That's always the lesson that corporate Democrats learn, is that, we got to be more like a Republican, right? But the Republicans don't learn anything because they don't offer anything. It is all grievance and angertainment, right? And so what are they? They're coming out saying things like, we got to stop young people from voting. We got to raise the voting age. And they're even lamenting women. That's nothing new. Women having the right to vote. That's the worst thing that ever happened to this country. And they're rehashing that again. And we'll talk about that because I have some videos of that. But where is this? So, I hate them all. What can you do? So Kari Lake was on 60 Minutes Australia. Here, let's play this. She's just incredibly unbearable to me.
Well, that's not true.
I'm counting you as.
Well, that's not true at all. That's not true at all.
You've called our election.
Let's be fair on this. Your man Donald.
You've called our election the big lie.
Your man Donald brought it up. Your man Donald said.
Why would you say that, sir?
What?
Your man Donald?
Well, he is. I mean, he's endorsed you personally. He said a few days ago that those people at the Capitol should be pardoned. They should all be pardoned. Do you think they should be pardoned?
I'm still amazed that you say your man Donald. That's just so disrespectful.
Can you believe this shit? Do you see the scam going on? This is a classic narcissist tactic, okay? And it's called, there's an acronym for it. It's called DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse, meaning reverse, victim, and offender. So you deny. What do you mean? Then you attack. Well, that's so rude, my man Donald. Then you're the victim. You reverse the victim and the offender. Forget, you're the one. You're, of course, the Republicans are professional victims. So they love playing that victim role. And look at her fucking face, What do you mean? Does she ever answer a question? So she says, you called our election the big lie. No, that's not what he said. They like to confuse people and twist shit too, of course. But no, you said first of all, we all know what the big lie is. The big lie is saying that the election was stolen. That's the big lie. This is on par with when Fox News they reported on Joe Biden's speech, warning about the dangers of, that democracy is in danger. And they tagged him on the lower third with election denier Joe Biden. When he's not denying elections, you are. You're the ones. So, this Kari Lake bitch, thank you, people of Arizona, for saving us, at least for now, because I don't think we've seen the last of them, just like we haven't seen the last of that fascist draft-dodging dictator envying con man who received fewer votes, the fake university and the vitamin scam. The good news there is that he sucks. And he will burn the entire Republican Party down with him, and I'm here for it all day. I got the popcorn cooking. I love popcorn. And I will be eating that popcorn and laughing. But, this Kari Lake, the way her narcissism to me is so evident. And she's skilled, and that's probably why her opponent's name is escaping. She didn't. That whole thing about her, she didn't debate her, and I'm not saying that's a great strategy, but I think people have their strengths and weaknesses, and I think that, Kari Lake is a very slick little narcissist. And, she's good at being in front of the camera.
People at the Capitol should be pardoned. They should all be pardoned. Do you think they should be pardoned?
I'm still amazed that you say your man Donald.
You see this? Answer the fucking question, bitch. I'm just still amazed here. I'm sitting here. Look at my stunned eyes and my furrowed brow. Do you think the people at the Capitol should be pardoned? That's a very simple question. Yes or no? Now how do I do? Well, what would I do with, let me get to my Darvo. Let me, distract. Wait, let me turn this shit around. How am I? I'm the victim here. Oh, yes. I just gotta go back. I'm gonna hang on to that. I'm just amazed that you said your man Donald, this throwaway line that doesn't mean anything, but I'm gonna hang on it like it's a fucking offense. You just offended me and my ancestors from back to zygote, back to when we crawled out of the primordial ooze. We're not anybody. We don't belong to anybody. What do you mean, my man, Donald? He's not my man. He is every man. He's your man. He's our man. How could you say he's my man? I'm my own man. I'm not even a man, but I'm a woman, but I'm a man. Yeah, metaphorically, I'm like a man. I like men. I like the patriarchal power structure. So I don't understand what you're talking about. Man, my man? He's my man? I'm still stunned here. I can't take it anymore. Look at my face. Look at my eyes, my furrowed brow. I'm so confused. How could you say something? Oh, the humanity. Incredible. Yes, a victim, turning the question, Jim says, into a chance to be the victim yet again. Yet again. Yes, that's right. Paradou, you rep him hard and now you're offended? That's the Republican way. I'm so offended by you. I can't even get over it. I can't even answer this incredibly simple yes or no question because that might put my foot in my mouth. And I'm out here trying to look slick and shit for the dumbass dupes who will believe every bullshit that I peddle down their rapaciously racist and easily led throats. So how do I answer this? How do I say, I will, I don't want to offend the traitors, but so I can't answer this question, but I don't want to completely offend the non-traitors, so I'm going to go with a faux rage about this throwaway line this guy said, your man Donald, who endorsed you, who pushed you into this position, who, he's your man. He's your man.
just so disrespectful.
It's
Let's be fair on this.
disrespectful. How is it disrespectful? How? It's incredible. And then you go down this fucking rabbit hole with this bitch. It's like, how is it disrespect? So you love him, you would kiss his ass in Macy's window if it meant you could be the governor, right? But it's so disrespectful to say my man Donald. What do you ever see this ever in your life? This kind of these people. Yes, we've seen them. Of course, we've seen them. We live with them. We share the same air of with them. And there are people that we know that vote for these fucking people. I can't take it. That's the problem. I can't understand that.
Your man
You've
Donald.
called our election the big lie.
Your man
You've
Donald
called-
brought it up.
You've called our election the big lie, which is that, first of all, we know that's bullshit. He's called you calling the election stolen the big lie. But, okay.
Your man Donald said only
Why
a
would
few.
you say that, sir?
What? But-
Your man Donald?
Well, he is. I mean, he's endorsed you personally. He said
that's-
a few days ago that those people at the Capitol should be pardoned. They should all be pardoned. Do you think they should be pardoned?
I'm still amazed that you say your man Donald. That's just so disrespectful.
How is it disrespectful?
Why would it be? He's endorsed you. You have his personal endorsement.
It's just the flippant attitude. It's obvious that you've come in.
The flippin' attitude. It's the flippin' attitude. It's so disrespect. Wait, what should I go with disrespect? Is it disrespectful or what is it? Well, it's not that disrespect. It's his attitude. That's it. Yes, he's the fake news. It's biased. I don't like your attitude.
To this, it's obvious you've come into this interview and you don't like President Donald Trump.
Kari.
It's obvious.
Well, do you think they should be pardoned? Do you think they should be pardoned?
I have no say in that. I'm running for governor. This isn't something a governor does. You're trying to twist
So
this
you don't have an
interview
opinion?
Not at
and
all.
trying to make me look bad.
You're a Republican.
I-
He's
I-
a
that's
Twist
Republican.
it. You're trying to twist it by making me look bad, by asking me a fucking question that's relevant. You think these traitors should be pardoned? You know? Oh, I'm a governor. I got nothing to say. I got nothing to do with that. Oh, you don't have an opinion? Everybody saw the traitors storm the Capitol and beat the cops and use bear spray and cattle prods, and they saw the zip ties and chanting, hang Mike Pence and where's Nancy? So you got no opinion on that? I'm the governor. I only have opinions on things I can govern. Like what? Like the big lie. They're incredible. How does guys? I'm asking sincerely. Who falls for this shit? Who likes that person? I don't get it. Who doesn't see through her as the grifter she is? The scam, or is it? And this is I think I'm answering my own question again. But is it the fact that, she's sticking it to the libs? She's owning the libs. She don't take any guff from the libs who think they're so smart. They think they're so smart. They know that it's, not gazpacho police, and they know they've read shit. They've read books and shit. They know some things, and we don't know shit. All we know is, food goes in here. That's it, and that's it, right? And own the libs. I guess that's it. Yeah, they because the cruelty is the point, and hence, yet again, goes back to my original hypothesis that Republicans hate America, and they're confused by America, and they hate because you can't love America and hate everybody in America. So that it basically means that, what I always say is that they lack the fundamental maturity to function in the type of free democratic society that they can only pretend to love. So there you go. They like seeing somebody like Kari Lake, not answer a question. And instead of having to admit how vile she is, she'll just turn it around. I'm not vile. You're vile. That's so disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. Your man Donald. Who cares? Like if they were talking to a liberal or talking to a Democrat, they'd say, your man Joe Biden just said blah, blah, blah. What? My man Joe Biden? How disrespectful. Why is it disrespectful? I do not like Donald Trump. I mean, frankly, I would I would find it very disrespectful if somebody said compared me to him or said something like that to me. I understand it because Donald Trump is a disgusting waste of human DNA. And, so I get it. I get why a normal person might be offended, but what is this faux rage? It's unbearable. And this guy, this poor broadcaster, I felt really embarrassed for us as Americans. I thought, geez, God, how embarrassing. Oh, but it gets worse. It gets worse.
He's the Republican leader.
What I don't like is that people are being held in prison without being charged. That's un-American. Maybe they get away with that stuff in Australia.
No, they're being charged.
Perhaps in Australia because...
more lies, right? They are being charged. No one's being held without being charged. It's not Guantanamo, right? Where people were held at Guantanamo for years and years without ever being charged. So they're of course, what they do. There she goes, conflating shit yet again. No one's sitting and languishing in prison without being charged. There's lots of charges. One is seditious conspiracy. Conspiracy against the United States. Interfering with an official proceeding. That's another charge. That's not so. This broadcaster, this Australian broadcaster, what does he know? For 99% of the time, the American broadcasters never push back on these people and say, no, that's not true. They just let the stink bomb sit in the middle of the floor and the stench of shit just emanates out, of course, for the Trumpanzees to eat up like they eat their morning breakfast. But no, they're not. This is what I'm saying. Everything about them is a lie. They lie. They hate America. I mean, what is it? You know what it is? It's because it's about power and the way they behave. They're not behaving like public servants who are in it for altruism. And this is exhibit Z times 1,000 why we need to get money out of politics. Because you better believe that if we had public campaign financing or public financing of campaigns, however you put it, the likes of Kari Lake would be gone. They would get the fuck out of here. They wouldn't be interested. Oh, they'd probably be interested in the way as, they'd like to, they want to corrupt government. They want to write the laws that favor themselves because they're very underwhelming and they need all the help they can get. It gets worse, though.
given your rights away. You melted down all of your guns, and you guys.
You've given your rights away in Australia. So she's telling now she's turned it around and she's attacking the Australian people in general as being just under the thumb of tyranny because they don't have any guns. You know, the tyranny of not getting shot when you go shopping. Oh, the tyranny of being able to go to a midnight showing of the latest Batman film without ending up in a body bag. Oh, the tyranny of sending your kids to school without worrying whether they're going to have to be identified through their DNA. Right? Oh, the tyranny. The tyranny of going to a concert and enjoying some music without some fucking lunatic opening fire, or going to a park, a synagogue, a church, the grocery store. Oh, the tyranny.
Maybe they get away with that stuff in Australia. Perhaps in Australia, because you've given your rights away, you melted down all of your guns, and you guys have no freedom, that you find that okay.
You have no freedom in Australia. I didn't know that. You have no freedom. The freedom to go to the doctor when you're sick. Oh, the fucking tyranny of not having to go on GoFundMe for medical care after you get shot. You see, one of the unsung disgraces that this country has to, account for eventually, hopefully, we'll finally have a reckoning, is that when you're in a massacre, a lot of people, the years of physical therapy that await you if you survive, then you might have to go on GoFundMe to beg for medical care and the care you need. And all you got to do, it is a disgusting testament to this disgusting system. But go on, we've done it on the show before. We go on GoFundMe and you look up the, different massacres. And there are people who've survived these massacres asking for help because, they need help learning to walk again, or they need a different, whatever it might be, some kind of medical care so they can live their lives. And, insurance just don't cover it because that's money. They don't get rich by providing care. Go on GoFundMe, and then the news will do a very feel-good story about it. When Kari Lake used to be a broadcaster, I'm sure she did a few stories like that, how the community got together and they, gave a little girl her cancer treatments for a whole week. They had a bake sale. It's unbelievable. You melted down your guns, and now you have no freedom. I mean, what a joke. When I was watching this, I was like, it was embarrassing to be an American, really. That's how I felt. I'm like, imagining the people of Australia watching this bitch and just laughing their asses off. You have no freedom. You have no freedom there. And they're like, are you kidding me, bitch? Looking at America like, you guys are you? It's like, do you have a mirror in America? No freedom. We have freedom. It only took one massacre here for us to say, hell no. But here in the United States of serfs and lords, we got massacre upon massacre upon massacre. Nothing is, there's nothing free about that. About freaks getting guns and terrorizing the community. And it's like Russian roulette every time you walk out the door. Will I be in a massacre or not? Who knows? You never know. Everybody, it's like all those people that went to the goddamn grocery store recently, and there are others, right? Other grocery stores. I always think about that. Not always, but because you got to put it out of your mind. But imagine, let me stop off at the store. I need some milk or something. And then you're fucking dead here in the United States of serfs and lords. And then what will happen? Then the likes of Ted Cruz and all the rest of the grifters in the Republican Party will give you their thoughts and prayers, give your family whatever's left of their thoughts and prayers, and then they'll continue to push the all the so-called solutions that actually do nothing but prolong the problem. This is what they're adept at it. That's what they do. Like Ted Cruz, again, met with... Well, I just saw this on the Huffington Post. He went to... Where is this? I'll look for it right now that we're talking about it. The parent of the children massacred at Uvalde. Here we go. It said, we met with Ted Cruz about stopping mass shootings. His response was disgusting. This is on the Huffington Post. Let's see. Sunday, while many of us slept, yes, a gunman opened fire on a bus at the University of Virginia, killing 3 students. Oh, freedom! Students across the campus sheltered in place for 12 hours. Well, that doesn't sound very free to me, Kari. In other countries, students were going about their business, going to classes, going to the library. No one was sheltered in place. That doesn't sound like freedom, does it? So let's see. The incident marked the 598th time. 500, excuse me, let me rephrase this. 598th mass shooting this year. This fucking year. Okay? And the second shooting in Virginia in the year 2022. Polls show that gun control was one of the 5 top issues for voters in last week's midterms, but not enough, right? Not enough. Because a lot of Americans love the mass shootings, as long as it's not them or their family members. Let everybody else fuck them. It's clear that people are tired of being afraid of mass shootings. Well, that's not freedom. They're afraid of freedom, I suppose. And they showed it by re-electing every senator who co-sponsored the federal assault weapons ban bill, which is good. This does not surprise me. As an anti-gun activist, I've been lobbying for a federal assault weapons ban ever since my 6-year-old son and I survived a mass shooting earlier this year, after a man opened fire with an AR-15 at our hometown's 4th of July parade. Oh, I remember that. Killing 7 and injuring over 40. Freedom! They all died for freedom, though. So they should feel good about that. Everybody should feel good about the sacrifices they made for freedom. Let's see. He was seated right in front of me with only 2 feet of hot air between us and nothing else. He went around the room. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Excuse me. On a brisk, sunny Wednesday afternoon in September, I sat in a meeting. She's talking about Ted Cruz. Surrounded by a group of gun violence victims, survivors and activists. We were gathered in a circle of seats in the personal office of GOP Senator Ted Cruz. He was seated right in front of me with only 2 feet of hot air between us and nothing else. We went around the room introducing ourselves, and the senator was cordial. His face was appropriately sympathetic. He looked at each of us in the eye, and as we spoke, he nodded along somberly as I told him about running with my 6-year-old son from a mass shooter. After the introductions concluded, we asked for the senator's support on a federal assault weapons ban. Okay, well, stay tuned. Kim and Felix Rubio, the parents of Lexi, who was murdered at Robb Elementary School in May. Could you imagine, being those parents? I can't. I can't. Sometimes I think about that. I wake up in the morning. I think about that all over the country, people are waking up without their kids because they were shot in a school, murdered in a massacre. And everyone's just moving on about their lives. Oh, well, until the next one. How do you ever get over that? And worse, how do you get over the indifference of your fellow Americans to keep electing these politicians that ensure that there will be a next one and a next one and a next one? So, yes, okay. Felix and Kim Rubio, they traveled all the way from Uvalde, Texas. Felix showed the senator a photo of their 10-year-old daughter in her casket. The senator looked at it stoically. Well, it wasn't his little girl, right? One of his girls. They go to nice private schools that cost about, I think the private schools each daughter goes to, I think it costs around $40,000 a year. That's more than the median salary of most of the people of the United States. But $40,000 each. They got it going on, the cruises. Man of the people and all. The senator looked at it stoically, and he looked at the pained faces of the Rubios as he told them that his solution, to school shootings was putting more police officers in school, and which is bullshit, We know, and Ted Cruz knows that doesn't matter. That the numbers of school shooting, as the amount of armed police officers in schools have risen over the years, so has the school shootings. And it makes absolutely no difference. The energy in the room shifted suddenly. It was palpable. Some members of our group gasped. Others started crying. Sandy Phillips, the mother of Jesse Phillips, who was gunned down in a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado in 2012, walked out of the room in disgust. Shock and disbelief hung heavy in the air over each of us as someone blurted out that 376 law enforcement officers stood by and did nothing to save the 19 children and 2 teachers who were brutally slaughtered at Uvalde. They did nothing. On October 24th, almost 6 weeks to the day of that meeting with Ted Cruz, a school shooting in St. Louis became the 40th school shooting of the year. Freedom! Freedom! Those kids died for freedom. Kari Lake's version of freedom. The Republican Party version of freedom. I wouldn't be surprised. I wonder, it just came to me right now. I wonder if this Kari Lake bitch will team up with Trump and become his vice president, right? Nominee. That would be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised. As, your man Trump and all, but yeah. As details emerged, it was reported that the shooter had a dozen 30-round magazines with him, because that's what you need when you're defending yourself right? It's your Second Amendment right to have an arsenal in your home. Why not a nuclear weapon? That's what I always say, why not? Why not? What if Elon Musk bought himself, puts on one of those rockets, just put some, nuclear, whatever, plutonium, whatever you put to make it a nuclear weapon. Why not, Same thing. Second Amendment. I have the right. I got a right. I'm in fear for my life. I need a nuke. I need a tank. I need a fucking battleship. Because I live. Where do these people live? This is it's another example. They hate America. You understand? Eva Brawny. That's good. Jim. Kari Lake. Yes, that's what she is. She's very Eva Brawny. So, yeah. Even police couldn't prevent the school shooting. The family of the shooter had asked police to seize the weapon that would later be used to kill 16-year-old Alexandria Bell and the physical education teacher Jean Kazuka. Police confiscated the weapon, but determined at the time that the suspect had was lawfully permitted to own the weapon. And the AR-15 assault weapon was returned to a third party known to a family member, and it is not known how the school shooter regained possession of the firearm. Ted Cruz was silent on Twitter, but gun violence prevention advocates weren't, because we know that police... I don't know, this article keeps popping around on the page, and I'm losing my place. It just keeps, how that happens sometimes, just popping around. I think there must be an ad or something. Because we know that police and security guards and locked doors don't prevent school shootings. Even schools with their own police force, like the University of Virginia, can't prevent mass shootings. While we don't know what kind of gun was used in the Virginia shooting, we do know the only thing that will prevent the majority of mass shootings and school shootings is banning assault weapons. Data proves it. During the assault weapons ban from 1994 to 2004, the likelihood of being killed in a mass shooting decreased by 70%. And then, of course, it was the Republicans that let it expire, right? I remember when that happened. And see, this is the thing with Republican policies. They always come home to roost in failure, death, blood, division, chaos, suffering. Always. And when that happened, I was like, great. Just wait. It won't happen overnight. I remember when the assault weapons ban expired. They let it expire. I remember it was a headline on the Huffington Post. And it's like, well, there will be death. That should be their motto. There's going to be more death. Isn't that something that Trump said? Yeah, Trump. Oh, yeah, he said that about COVID. There will be more death. That's an understatement. Yes. Trump says there'll be more death. Like water. Remember when he said that it's very wet by the standpoint of water? Yeah, he also said that there's going to be more death. Well, he was right. He was right. We topped the charts as far as death through coronavirus and everything else. So yeah. Let me just finish this one article. Let's see. Easy access to weapons of war is what's killing our children. Right now, an 18-year-old who is not old enough to buy alcohol can legally buy an assault weapon. Assault weapons were designed to kill as many people as possible in the shortest amount of time. The shooting my son and I survived involved an AR-15. In less than 15 seconds, the shooter in Highland Park shot around 100 rounds into a crowd of families. He stopped to reload twice. In Uvalde, some parents had to use DNA to identify their children because the bullets from an assault weapon are powerful enough to liquefy a person's organs. Disgusting, right? Oh, I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. It's too terrible. And that's why last time in Uvalde, people were like, oh, we need the Emmett Till moment here. We do. I really do. If people have to get traumatized, but it's disrespectful to the parents. That's what others were saying. Well, they don't want their children being remembered this way. I don't know about that. Why don't you ask them? Because some and if I'm not mistaken, some of those parents said, "Yeah, release my the photo of my child," because people need to be shocked. If they have to have PTSD their entire lives. Children have to have PTSD from live shooter drills or even surviving massacres in school. Then what the entire country needs to suffer the consequences. We already have PTSD here. I mean, this country's fucked up. And I wish the Democrats and everybody else, the Republicans are a lost cause, but I wish the Democrats at least would listen to me as far as, I know what we need to do. You guys know. As far to unify this country, you don't just talk about it. You don't just say, we're the United States with nothing we can't do. You don't say, that's so fucking annoying. You unify the country, right? How do you do it? Universal health care, universal higher education, living wages. That's why FDR made Social Security belong to everyone. Follow FDR's example. And then you go out there and you sell it like that. Say, well, this country is too damn divided. E pluribus unum means we don't leave anybody behind. We're in this together. And there are some things that we need to do together. And one of those is that you can't have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness if you don't have health. And yes, we are each other's keeper. What does e pluribus unum mean? You don't believe in that? Then you don't believe in America. Because that's the country the founders entrusted to us. With all their flaws, they still knew that we were in this together. They understood somewhere in their higher selves. And that's the only way we're going to get through this. And that's together. We can't have a system where it's just, I got mine. Sucks to be you. I got mine? Because that's the way it is now. That's the way it is with health care, for sure. I got mine. I don't want to lose mine. But so I don't want to hear it. Like, we're the United States. There's nothing we can't do. Well, fucking do it then. Do it. Tax the rich. And Medicare for all. That's it. Medicare for all, because we are in this together. I mean, how fucking, it's so obvious to me. It's part of why we're so divided. And it's the one of the reasons we don't have universal health care is because of our racist ass history. There's no doubt in my mind. Oh, there's so many things we have to do. And that, I mean, it doesn't seem like that big of a burden in a way, but only because of money in politics and, you know, people. I mean, there's ways that we could, obviously the message is, it's not that, oh, if you like your health insurance, you can keep your health insurance. What the fuck kind of stupid message is that? If you like your shitty insurance, if you like your copay, co-insurance, deductibles, in-network, out-of-network, you could keep it? If you like it, you could keep it. If you hate yourself, why don't you try that? If you hate yourself, you can keep this system that costs more and gives you less, kills thousands, bankrupts millions, leaves millions out, and consistently ranks dead last on all positive measures. If you like that system, you can fucking keep it. But the rest of us, the ones who don't hate ourselves, we're going to do this Medicare for all thing, because the problem is it's not that people love their fucking insurance. They love going to the doctor. Imagine a system where you can just go to the goddamn doctor. You don't have to, is he in my network or she in my network? Oh shit, my company changed my health care. So I got to get a new network. Your company. And also, what kind of shitty system is that too? Attached to your fucking job? A stupid system. It's not a health system. It's a system of sucking profit from people's sicknesses and denying care for when you're sick. And, you know, what kind of stupid system attaches your health to your job? When a lot of times, you know, when you get sick, you can't fucking work. So I guess you're SOL there too. Oh, God, everything sucks. It's like and that's part of the reason why we had a shitty response, especially in the beginning to the coronavirus, because people like going to work sick. Because not only do we have no days off here, you can't afford to take a day off because you don't get paid, and you gotta go to work, you know, because you don't got health care anyway. Anyway, look at this bitch's face. Not mine. This one's.
But here in America, we do things differently. We have something called the U.S. Constitution, and we have rights.
So we'd be better off having more guns here. I mean, what? You would be better off?
Yeah, you would. You absolutely would, sir. You absolutely would.
What a dumb bitch.
I feel so sorry for the people in Australia.
Yeah.
Have no power. The only thing keeping us from being Australia right now is our Second Amendment.
Oh, my God. You tedious dummies. Tedious. The only thing keeping us from being Australia. What the fuck is wrong with Australia? You stupid narcissist. I am sorry, Australia. All I have to say is I apologize for these people. They weren't raised properly. Something's wrong with them. They're sick. They're incredibly sick. The only thing that's keeping us from being Australia is like, you know, these are the same people that go to Hungary, right, for their conventions. They want to be like Hungary. They like that. They want to be an illiberal so-called democracy, which isn't a democracy. They want to be a system that's not a democracy. They hate democracy, as we know, by their response. Every time democracy kicks their ass, they don't say, oh, how do I win more voters? They say, how do I kick people off the voting rolls? How do I stop people from voting? Oh, and that's the other thing. Speaking of, and we talked about this the other day when Poppy was on the show. Because they talk about, I have yet to hear anyone on the corporate media point out the fact that Ron DeSantis literally drew the maps under which he won, quote unquote, Florida. You know, it is easy to win when you pick your voters, isn't it? When you absorb Democratic districts into overwhelmingly Republican districts and nullify your Democratic districts. It's really easy to win. Not that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he would have won anyway. But he's not this wonderkind. Oh, hello, Poppy. Poppy's listening tonight. Nice to see you, Poppy. Nice to see you. But yes, if you remember, that's what we were talking about. But yeah, none of the corporate. It's like whenever the Republicans pull their dirty tricks, it's like we all just, oh well, all the dirty tricks fall down the memory hole. And it's like, oh, nothing happened here. Nothing to see. Ron DeSantis has kicked ass in Florida. Don't pay no attention to the fact that he, gerrymandered, that Florida is the most gerrymandered, one of the most gerrymandered states in the union, and that it's not that the Republican legislature drew the maps. Ron fucking DeSantis drew the maps. So, let's be fair. But, of course, what am I saying? It's not about that. It's great. It's the same thing with...
and we will never...
Oh, shit. With the... with the Supreme Court, too. Whenever they steal a Supreme Court seat, and everybody's like, oh, well... I guess that's Justice Amy Coney resting bitch face Barrett, I suppose, instead of the illegitimate Amy Coney resting bitch face Barrett. Well, Democrats, will you listen to me? Ever? Oh, thank you, Pookie's mommy. Thank you, Pookie's mommy. I know Pookie's mommy is listening. Thank you for excuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself. I thought you were saying, thank you for driving us crazy. Thank you for giving us a safe space to get together during these difficult times. We appreciate you. Thank you, Pookies. And I appreciate you. I can't do it without you. That's for sure. And why would I want to? Right. DeSantis drew the maps and didn't recuse himself? Yeah, no, not at all. I hear Ray. Where's Ray? Ray. Come here, Ray. Where are you? Ray. Where are you? I don't see you. Oh, there you are. Ray. Come here, Ray. He's a fucking bastard. That's the way everything is. That's why all my relations get out. Uh-oh. I know who is paying attention. It's Junior. Junior saw me giving Ray attention. Now he's coming down. Oh no. All right, let's get back to Kari.
Ever let that go. Mark my words. What we do, melted down all of your guns, and you guys have no freedom. That you find
you
out
have
okay.
No freedom.
But here in America, we do things differently. We have something called the U.S. Constitution, and we have rights.
So we'd be better off having more guns here. I mean, what? You would be better off...
Yeah, you would. You absolutely would, sir.
You would? How?
You absolutely would.
In what way, bitch? In what way? I understand. I'm sure the guy was taken aback by this bitch's everything, by her narcissism, her ability to turn everything around and make herself the victim. But by what? No one ever pushes back and asks for specifics. What are you talking about? Right? They don't do that on corporate media here. Oh, yes, you would be so much better with more guns. Really? How? Give us an example. Well, you see, when you go to the supermarket, it's so much better with the looming threat of possibly being massacred that it makes you a very swift shopper. It's sort of like Supermarket Sweep. If you've ever seen that show, you just throw shit in your basket and then you run the fuck out and hope, you keep your head down. You hope, and it gives you a lot of time to hope. You hope that you can get to your home with your pint of ice cream and your tall kitchen garbage bags or whatever else you needed to pick up that you forgot at an earlier trip. And you just hope that you don't get shot in the back. And when you get home, it makes you appreciate life more. Really. You really enjoy that ice cream. So, I really feel bad for you in Australia, not having that kind of incessant stress of being in a part of a massacre. It's freedom. You call it massacres. We call it freedom. Freedom incidents. It's like freedom breaking out all over.
I feel so sorry for the people in Australia.
You
have
do?
no power. The only thing keeping us from being Australia right now is our Second Amendment. And we will never, ever let that go.
Oh, God.
Mark my words. What we saw happening in Australia, where you have internment camps and people are being forced, if they've encountered anybody with COVID, to be locked into a quarantine camp, is the most horrifying thing.
Get the fuck out. Oh, you know what's more horrifying, bitch? Bitch. You know what's more horrifying? Let's see. Where is the statistic? I find this a little bit more horrifying, but I find it, you probably can't relate, Kari, because you're not a human. Something went wrong in your development. But I find it horrifying that, let me see, COVID death in America. Yeah, that's kind of horrifying. As far as of today, 97.9 million cases of coronavirus, and actually it's more. We know that because a lot of times people get it and they don't report. I know people that get it and, they've been vaccinated and whatnot, and they just stay home. I'm sick, and they stay home. So that's not being reported. So we know that it has to be off the chart. And I also recently heard of I don't know where I heard this now that I'm saying this, that somebody was vaccinated, boosted, the whole nine, and still ended up in the hospital on an ICU. So it depends on the person. Anyway, but, the vaccination gives you at least, it's like wearing a bulletproof vest to the supermarket. You still might get shot. They might shoot you in the leg, or even if you get shot in the bulletproof vest, you'll get knocked down, but at least you have a fighting chance. But what's more horrifying to me is 1.7 million dead. In Australia, COVID death. Australia. I think it's like 15,000 if I remember correctly. Australia. Yes, look at that. 10 million total cases and 15,891 dead. That's it. Of all the cases. How many people live in Australia? What's the population? Population of Australia. 25.7 million. So that's, what do we have? Like 320 million here? USA population. We have 33 million now, so it's up to 33. So let's see. That would be, let's see, 15,000. Let's say 16,000. Calculator. Where's my calculator? So comparable. The number would be, if we had the same amount of numbers of coronavirus death to the population times, it would be 192,000 dead instead of 1 million in that vicinity. Does that make sense? So to adjust it for population. So if we lost the same amount, adjusted for population, if we, we're normal and not a whole bunch of morons who don't give a shit about anybody else but themselves. Isn't that depressing? So if we approached our coronavirus, we didn't have Trump and the Trumpanzee battalion of morons spreading their bullshit, their misinformation, their lies, their divisiveness, their crying about masks, about when, wearing a fucking mask is like, it's just the least you can do for your fellow American, right? Your country and your community, which is the definition of patriotism. And that's why they are confused. Not only do they hate America, they're confused by America. Because they think that, hey, it's like, no one's asking them to storm the beaches of Normandy. But they praise everyone who stormed the beaches of Normandy. Well, according to them, they would be like, you're on your own. I like Hitler. Right? Who needs those Jews, gypsies, gays? Who needs them? I don't like them either. That's the Republican way. Don't give a shit about anybody else but yourself and call yourself a patriot in spite of it. Well, it gets worse. It gets worse.
Too. It's frightening, and if you can't see that, I feel sorry for you.
Would it have been better?
This is our last question.
This goes. Let's remind each other that it all goes back to the question of.
Yeah, which I'm.
Well, that's not true.
I'm counting you as.
Well, that's not true at all. That's not true at all.
You've called our election.
Let's be fair on this. Your man Donald.
You've called our election the big.
See, that all goes from your man Donald.
Lie.
Your man Donald brought it up. Your man Donald said.
Why would you say that, sir?
What?
Your man Donald?
Well, he is. I mean, he's endorsed you personally.
Incredible. To this, right?
One more question, Kari.
Well, no, I've already.
Watch. Wait.
Never seen a government do. It's frightening, and if you can't see that, I feel sorry for you.
Would it have been better?
This is our last question, Liam. We have to run, but thank you for your time.
Just answer me this one question. One more question, Kari.
Well, no, I've already told you we're done. Thank you so much.
The banality of, I don't know, is evil? The faux indignation of evil.
None. Seriously, a complete insane person.
Watch. Now, I just wanted, there's another part to this interview that I guess Kari was very proud of herself. And she posted behind the scenes from the interview. And let me play that now. let's see, the other side of the interview, which I found pretty curious because, in my opinion, Kari Lake looks like a crazy bitch. But, of course, I'm not a Trump fancy.
Answered it, so thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Just answer me this one question.
Thank you.
One more question, Kari.
Well, no, I've already told you we're done. Thank you so much.
Well, just...
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
So when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
I gave you 15 minutes. We promised you 15 minutes, sir.
Well, no, you promised us 30 minutes, actually, yesterday.
Well, I never promised 30 minutes. I told my staff 15.
Really? I don't think that's true.
You don't think that's true?
Everybody lies. Everybody's lying but you. Right? That's how it goes.
We said we have 15 minutes. I've got it on tape, sir.
I don't think that's true.
I have it on tape. Did we say that on tape?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. So look to your fellow fascist. Didn't we say that on tape? No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't think that's true. We got it on tape. Oh, let's go to the tape. I mean, it's like everybody's lying but them. Everybody's lying. Everything is a lie except them. The whole world, we're just trying to get through the day, but everyone's lying. The courts are lying. The secretaries of state are lying. Everyone's lying. But unfortunately, it's like we can't see anything, regardless of the fact that everyone has a phone. But every time we ask for proof, there's no, it's coming in 2 weeks. It's coming. It's coming in the mail. It's, well, here, let's continue.
I'm sorry that you asked the same question 3 times and wasted your time with the same
I'm
question.
sorry you couldn't bring yourself to actually see the world in a different light.
Oh, wait. Oh, this is probably why she posted it. See the world in a different light.
Are you a journalist or unbiased journalist or not?
I hate her condescending tone. Her constantly condescending tone. And she has to be a horrible on the inside and everywhere, but just a horrible person to be so. How do you? I don't get it. How do you stoop so low? I don't understand it. How can you hate the country that much? And I guess it's the narcissism, the love of power, the love of money, the love of attention. And I have to, I guess I'm convincing myself, because it really is, there are narcissists in the world, and they are legion in the Republican Party. But this Kari Lake character, it's incredible.
Where is it? Why are you trying to tell me how I should see the world? You're a journalist.
No, you don't get any more questions to me. You've cut me off. You don't get any questions.
He's not telling her how to see the world. He said you can't see the world in any other way that is true. Any question that's posed to her, she twists it. And if she doesn't have an answer to it, she pretends to be outraged about something you said. That you just pick. He could have said anything. If your man Donald, I like that green shirt. Where'd you get it? What do you mean? Or whatever, right? It could have been anything. Why did you choose green for the interview? Or it could have been any question. It was her. She needed to be faux raged at that time. She picked the your man Donald because she had nothing else. And then it was like, wait a minute, my man Donald. What are you talking about? I've never been so insulted in my life. And he says, what are you talking about? It is your man. I mean, your attitude now, he says, you can't see the world in any other light. She's, of course, going to grab that like a rabid dog on a chicken wing.
Journalists, sir, you should be unbiased. You shouldn't be telling me how to see the world.
Unbiased. Yeah, bitch. No one's unfucking biased. And let me tell you, it's not about seeing the world. There's truth. Some things are true. Some things are false. Like the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That's not a debate, right? And the water will always freeze at 32 degrees. That's not a debate. And the fucking election wasn't stolen. And if you had a debate, you took it to court. You had no evidence. 61 courts laughed you out the door with prejudice. Some of the courts said, get the fuck out of here with that. That's what with prejudice means. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. Meaning, don't come back with this. With your bullshit. Don't waste the court's time with your bullshit. That's partly why Giuliani lost his law license. Because he's a liar. And in some realms, lies have consequences. Not in the realm of Republicanism, that they live on lies. And as you notice, when they go to the realm where lies do have consequences, they don't lie. They don't stick to the lie. Like Trump going to court about the fact that he doesn't want his taxes to be released because he's a grifter, and he doesn't want, he's still coming up with the excuse when they finally are released. He's trying to come up with a good one, and I guess he hasn't settled on it yet. But he's not going to court and saying, oh, we can't show my taxes because they're under audit. How come none of the court filings say anything about these taxes being under audit? Because they could say whatever the fuck they want to the dummies, and the dummies are like a bunch of baby birds with their mouths open. Just put that bullshit down their throats. Gaping mouths open, guzzling it, and it keeps on coming. But anyway, let's keep going with this bitch. I know it's almost done.
Oh, really?
Why are you trying to tell me as a journalist how to see the world? I don't understand that. It's not a journalist's job to tell me how to see the world. It's a journalist's job to ask questions that are not biased.
He was asking you questions, bitch. And you were faux raged and dodging and weaving, like a little Ava Braun on a trampoline.
And I didn't get that from you.
And why aren't you open and accountable to the
I'm
facts
absolutely open and accountable.
Real evidence, rather than just pushing your own barrow for your own purposes.
Boy, I'm happy to send you some of the facts. I'll leave it with the crew here before we leave.
Sure you will. They're coming in 2 weeks, right? I'll leave you the facts. That's what we always hear from these Trumpansies. They're always like, oh, I got it. I'll send you the evidence in the mail. I'll send it on. I'll attach it. Oh, maybe I guess it got blocked by your filters because it never came. I don't know. I'll leave it with the crew. All the facts. Yeah, you will, because everybody. This communication age. You could send things across great distances in seconds, and we're still waiting for facts coming from these Republicans. I'm still waiting. I'll leave them with your crew.
This is the way Trump people do it, yeah? This is what happens. You have one narrative and that's it. You can't think out of the box.
Sir, I believe you have that narrative. You're unable to even
I know you are,
see
but what
the
am
evidence
I?
that we have in our forensic audit. I do.
Yes, yes. So
You
unless
can't
you
see
believe the
it.
big lie,
You
unless
can't see it because it doesn't exist. In our forensic audit, they kept auditing. Every time they audited, Joe Biden kept getting more votes. It's kind of crazy. In our forensic audit. Oh, yes. Add another word. Our super duper fragilistic espialidocious forensic audit. Number 2.035 audit. You can't see it. You have to have special eyes that only see bullshit. And no one else can see it. Only Trumpanzees. You gotta be a card-carrying member of the Trump cult to see it. It's a shame you couldn't ask me any questions that I wasn't faux raged and fake offended about.
believe the big lie, you're shut out. The questions get cut off. That's it. Unless you believe the election was stolen,
I don't think I cut off.
Cut off from the drip feed.
I didn't cut off your question, sir.
I didn't. I'm so amused. I'm so fake amused by this. Just like I was fake outraged. Isn't that what you humans do? Isn't that what humans do when they're tickled? They go, ha 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 ha, ha. Sir. Isn't that? She is a something wrong with her. That is something wrong. There is. She's got to be a sociopath because she used to be a supposed normal person. Let me see. Kari Lake. Let me see. Used to be progressive. No, she was a Democrat or so. But I think she was whatever she needed to be, as far as, I suppose, being in media. Perhaps she thought that being a supposed Democrat would enhance her career somehow. So, let's see. And she saw this niche, this Republican niche. Let's see, yeah. Worked in local TV news. Now she calls reporters monsters. Monsters. You're a fucking monster. I mean, it takes one to know one, really, right? I know you are, but one of mine. But they call their opponents the very thing that they are. So she knows she's a monster somewhere in there. She has to know it, because who could be that much of a phony? Nothing happened. What happened? Except you saw this. She saw an opportunity to be a very well polished little fascist flag, a Trump flag waving opportunist. That's her niche. Why do I keep saying that word? I don't know. Am I saying it correct? Niche. Let's see. Kari Lake's. I know she's got a real laundry list of outrageous statements, of course, beyond calling reporters monsters. I mean, anybody who isn't a disgusting traitor and a democracy-hating traitor, an America-hating traitor, you don't call journalists monsters. You don't call them the enemy of the people. Anyone who any so-called politician in a so-called democracy that calls the press the enemy of the people is the enemy of the people. That's how you know them. You don't attack the pillars of democracy, and that's why when Poppy was on the show the other day and She pushed back when I said the Republicans hate America. And then I had to bring some of these receipts. They hate America because one of the other things, they constantly attack the pillars of democracy, the press, the public education, anything that helps democracy, they hate. Right? That helps the people, that helps us have a functioning democracy. And you can't have a democracy with a bunch of morons running around. You need public education is part of it. You need to have the other thing, a common story. The people need to have a common understanding of what the country is. That's partly why they hate public school and public education. They call it government schools. Oh, it's indoctrination. Well, the people, the young people, need to be taught what is a democracy. They need to be taught about how democracies fail. They need to be taught about they need to learn about the threats to democracies and how to overcome it, how to spot the grifters like the Kari Lakes of the world. And you could spot them by everything that they do. Calling the press the enemy of the people is the telltale sign. Attacking the very institutions that are required for a functioning democracy, a free press, the only profession enshrined in the Constitution that is so important. The founding fathers understood that it was so important, not even just important, it was necessary for a free people, for a functioning democracy, that you need a free press. And then you have these Republicans attacking the press because they don't like freedom. They don't like democracy. They don't like truth. Truth is anathema to them. It is against them. And if they can't twist the people into knots and have them cheering their own demise, then they won't be able to destroy this pesky democracy once and for all. And how do you do that? You can't do that if you have a press that's actually reporting the crimes that they're committing, that are holding them accountable. So you attack the press. There's a reason why journalists come down with curious and mysterious cases of premature death in Russia, right? They're constantly falling out of windows and shit like that. Because in every authoritarian state, a free press that's the enemy. That's why you call them the enemy. That's why every tyrant that ever lived calls the press the enemy. Being a journalist is a very dangerous profession in general because of people like Kari Lake. And any actual patriot knows it. And we've seen these Trumpanzees at rallies with shirts that say, journalists just add tree and rope. Right? And anybody who walks around with that shirt, and then you better believe they're waving flag. They're at a fucking Trump rally, waving a flag, wearing a shirt. I gotta find this, actually. Journalist, just add. Is that the way it is? Journalist. Oh, it says tree, rope, some assembly required. Something like that. And I have this picture somewhere. Cry Trump. Trumpity Trump. Yeah, there it is. See? It comes right up. Well, let me get this. Oh, it's too small. Oh. Wait, hold on. Let's look at it here. Look at this shit. Ha 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 ha. Look, they're selling it on T-shirt bear. Rope tree journalist. Some assembly required. Look at that bitch. But this picture, look at this woman, this old lady. Smiling. Isn't that the cutest of all? Rope tree journalist. Some assembly required. Why? So that again, I present to you Exhibit Z-1350 gazillion. Poppy. Republicans hate America. Rope tree journalist. Some assembly required, and then they walk around with their pocket constitutions, right? Waving the fucking Constitution like it's a prop. I have my Constitution right here. It is my free will, my right as an American not to give a shit about anybody else but myself. Here it is. It says it right here. Turn to section B. Look at me. Look. That's what freedom means. I can walk around Walmart with an M16 or an AK-47, whatever the fuck. Because it's my right. Ha 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 ha. Look at me. I'm an old lady. I'm talking about her, not me. Well, I could be. I'm so old. I love my socialist security. I just hate that socialism. Thank God I got my socialist security check. I was able to get on this Koch brothers funded bus to this rally of patriots here who want to cut socialist security and want to kick me off of Medicare. They hate me. I mean, not for me, for thee, though. Medicare for me, not for thee. Socialist security for me, not for thee. I earned it. But everyone else is taking advantage. And you know what that means. Wink, wink, wink. That means lots of brown people. I don't like brown people. They take socialist security too. And they shouldn't. They just shouldn't. You know, because it's for white people. Period. White old people. And Republicans would never do anything to destroy socialist security, even though they keep doing it, again and again. It's in their platform to sunset it in 5 years, and then it has to be renewed. I don't know. I'm hoping to be alive in 5 years, but thanks to Medicaid and Medicare and socialist security. But, you know, I hate those Democrats. I hate them. And I hate those journalists, too. But I love this Constitution. This Constitution's great. Written by the founding fathers who were inspired by everything that was sacred and holy. And they gave us the freedom to not have to die of hypothermia in the winter or malnutrition all year round like it used to be before socialist security. And here I am at a Trumpanzee rally, standing next to this great patriot who hates journalists just like I do. As if those journalists aren't saying everything that I agree with, they must be killed. Because of freedom. It's just not right. It's not right how much they hate America. They hate America when they report that Trump is a criminal. They hate this country when they report how Trump took classified documents and things like that and wanted to sell them to Putin probably. But that's okay because I like Putin. He's white and he's Christian. He hates gays. He hates, he hates all the same things I hate. And including America, even though I love America. On the surface, I like the stars. I like wearing shirts with stars on them. And I like, it's fun being here. It's like a community of morons. I fit right in. Everybody's on some kind of socialist security, disability. And that's what gives them the freedom to go on the internet machine, which I hate government. All that government's just too big. But the government, the R&D developed internet that came originally from taxpayer money. I hate when that government does shit because like the 9 most terrifying words are from the government. And I'm here to help, except I don't mind it when it comes to my door in the form of my Socialist Security and Medicare and everything else. When I turn on my tap and I drink my coffee and I don't get explosive diarrhea because there's no parasites in it, because of that government. I hate. I love being here with my fellow Republicans. They hate all the same things I hate. Anyway, let's get back to speaking of hate.
Answered them all. I answered them all. They were biased.
No, you have. You're walking away, Kari. It's the same old story.
I'm not walking away. I promised you 15 minutes. I'm happy to sit here.
No, you didn't. No, you're telling fibs again. You see, you won't, unless the narrative fits your description of the voter fraud and all that sort of thing, then you're offended. You somehow can't handle the truth.
I'm not offended. I want the truth.
I want the truth.
You offend me not at all, sir.
You offend me not at all. Listen to me enunciate. And you're so non-consequential that, or whatever the word is, that I have zero emotion about it all. I'm very even keeled, as you can see, except when I punctuate my faux indignation with some fluttering laughs. I've seen humans do that in elevators sometimes. Fake news, fake news. How dare you? How dare you, sir? As you can see, I'm not really affected because you're so low. You don't even merit. You don't measure. And you're not even a blip on the radar. I don't have any emotion at all for you, except when I'm going, oh, pisha. No, you're fake news. Not me. I'm Kari Lake. I'm very well coiffed. I'm groomed. Not like the pedophile groomers in the Democrat Party. Excuse me. I forgot that. I used to be a Democrat, and I forget all the little trigger words. We throw them up like gang signs, so we know that we're talking to fellow people who hate America. Like we say, Democrat Party. That's like saying, "Oh, okay, you're on board with our destruction of the country." Great. We don't say Democratic Party because that would imply that maybe we want to work with the Democrats or we believe in democracy. And we have the maturity, the functional maturity to operate in this this diverse system of filled with diverse people. Not the diverse, system, but you know what I mean. That we have the maturity to function in a system that requires a level of maturity. So thereby we call people by their names. When the name of the party is Democratic Party, we say Democratic Party. But when we say Democrat Party, that means we know who we're talking to, and it also subtly works on the tiny brains of the idiots. I mean, the patriots who buy my shtick. Then they, and then they go out and buy shirts that say journalist, rope, tree, some assembly required. They're so funny, aren't they? They're the best. I love them. I would never want to hang out with any of them. I wouldn't put them 10 feet. I wouldn't come within 10 feet of them. And in social setting. But especially, I mean, when I go down to Maramoron, there's not a Trumpanzee in sight. Unless we need to pack a ballroom and make it look like anybody gives a shit. But I would never, man of the people, woman of the people, whatever the fuck I am now. I would never, hang out with one of these people. You never see Trump. You know what Trump did when he's such a businessman. He's such an incredible businessman. He raised the price of his Mar-a-Lago, excuse me. Tara Devlin from Tarabuster calls it Maramoron. It just stuck with me. And he raised the fees of his club when he was the so-called president, despite receiving fewer votes, because, he's a man of the people. He had that whole man of the people shtick going, but then he had the grift going. And then you could see, even in his hotels, that he had the hotel for whatever, funny enough, the nights that the Saudis stayed at the Trump, whatever tacky Trump roach motels that he has, they all of a sudden, $500, $200 a night rooms, all of a sudden were $2,500 a night. Because that's all that matters. No man of the people. Wouldn't the man of the people make the money, make it less money? Wouldn't a real man of the people have a special Trumpanzee rally rate at Maramoron? No. Because he doesn't want to hang these rubes messing up that fine fake gilded china chair, or whatever the fuck they whatever tacky shit they have. Anyway, all right.
You offend me not. You can sit in Australia without your rights, but we have
She's such a see you next Tuesday.
Rights here, okay?
Well, you can
sit in Australia without your rights, but we have rights here. You are a dummy. I can't take it.
We have rights here, okay?
Well, you can make all the xenophobic comments you want. You can try and put the labels on us.
This is actually
sir,
this is
cannot,
actually
you
hilarious.
cannot look at the truth.
It's hilarious.
I mean, it's the same story so all the courts are corrupt, the officials are corrupt, the
It's
institutions are corrupt, but you're
hilarious.
okay. You're telling
Liam,
the truth.
this is actually funny. This is
comical.
is almost satire, the way you're approaching this. And I hope the people of Australia are waking up to the media. This is a perfect example of the insanity of the media.
Is
it's just
it?
crazy. You're calling
It's the
people
media.
names.
It's the media. It's this sort of amorphous mass that
Are you
somehow comes up
actually?
with this narrative.
I don't live in Australia. Are you actually a respectable journalist there, or are you kind of considered a joke?
Oh, zingy ding! She's
Seriously.
really
I hope this gets
Incredible.
put. I hope this gets
That's
put in the.
zingity zing. She is really giving him the 1-2, the Trumpanzee roundhouse, as we like to call it. It's so funny because she doesn't, she doesn't care. She has no feelings whatsoever, as you can tell by her consistent monotone tone of voice. He's so incidental. He's like he's a flea. Flick, flick, flick. But yet, you make me laugh. Pisha, are you a respected journalist, actually, in that hellhole of tyranny you call Australia? Where you don't go to, no one gets massacred at a shopping mall? What kind of hellhole is this? What kind of cesspit of tyranny must you live? Where did you slither out of with all your facts and standards? It's disgusting. Oh, but you make me laugh. Laugh me, Kari Lake. See, I run all emotions. I have all emotions. Not much to contrary to what some have said. I am capable of having all the emotions on the chart. I see that chart. I have a chart. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you disgusted? Are you outraged? That's it. Outraged, faux raged, sad, like Trump, so sad. Or are you fired up and ready to go? Like that Muslim that socialist palling around with terrorists President Obama used to say.
Donald Trump way, isn't it? It's fake news. All of a sudden, it's fake news.
Hey,
if you have a different narrative, it's fake news.
Liam, sir, I worked in the news for 30 years. I get how it works. It's hit rock bottom and it keeps going lower. I don't know if you have viewers who still watch, but here in America, people are tuning out the corporate media.
Really?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. You see, I have some, I'm a very snarky woman. That's all you can say. I really zing 'em. I zing 'em when I have to. I zing 'em and I zag 'em and then I fleece 'em.
Really are.
Yeah.
Sorry to tell you that. Days are numbered,
Right,
buddy. If you want to keep pushing propaganda, your days are numbered.
Propaganda?
And I
We're
don't know.
pushing propaganda.
Oh
That's
my
rich.
gosh! If you can't see it,
You
sir.
can't see it, sir. You notice I'm calling you sir? So I cannot be accused ever of being disrespectful because I'm saying sir, listen. To sir with love. You're fake news. And the rope journalist tree. Some assembly required. You've hit rock bottom. Not that this MAGA moron movement of dupes and greed-centered ghosts of the Gilded Age has run the gamut of their fame. Oh, we still have to deal with them.
Then you're even more brainwashed than
Yes,
you could
it's
imagine.
him. He's brainwashed.
And I feel for the people of Australia.
You do?
They're being abused by their leaders. They have no rights, and their media is continuing to try to brainwash them. You were probably one of the guys
Brainwash?
pushing the fear with COVID, so that people would stay in their
COVID.
homes
Yes.
and wouldn't go out, and that
And
the
get
children would
murdered.
be masked.
Those poor children would be masked instead of on a ventilator.
You were probably one of the guys pushing that fear on your TV station. And I'll tell you what, the masking of children and the torture of
Just
the people.
change the subject.
People are never going to forgive you for that,
Torture.
and they're never going to forget.
Yes.
So I suppose you're the kind of guy that masks your children, right?
Well,
Yes.
I suppose you're the sort of woman who also believes the moon landing was a conspiracy.
Yes,
I mean,
I
how many
suppose-
institutions
Oh,
do
my
you want to tear down in this?
I suppose you're the sort of woman that doesn't shed a tear when 1 million Americans go to their cold, early graves. And now that Christmas is coming, the holiday season, thank God we could say Merry Christmas again. Thank you, Donald Trump. But now that the holiday season is upon us, who cares about all those empty chairs around the dinner table when you're celebrating your holiday with your friends and family, and all those millions are in their cold early graves? Who cares? As long as freedom.
Oh my goodness! So are you masking your children? Is that your way of not answering? Are you masking your children, your beautiful
Unbelievable.
children's faces?
Your beautiful children's faces. Yes, because that's all you can teach your children, is to not give a shit about your fellow citizen or your community. And when your community and your country is in a crisis, do fucking nothing. Do what you want. That's it. Be a child. That's what I'm talking about. Republicans lack the fundamental maturity to function in a free democratic society, because that takes it takes a level of maturity, and it also takes the patriotism to give a shit about your fucking fellow citizen. That when your country and community is in a crisis, you do your part. Like in the past, they buy war bonds, or don't wear nylon stockings, or whatever. Or ration. I'm gonna wear my nylon stock. That's the Republicans. I'm gonna do. It's all about me. I'll do whatever I want. If wearing a mask can save one person, fuck that. You mask your beautiful children's faces, when maybe masking your beautiful children's faces will teach them that we do our part when our country and our community is in a crisis, because we don't like sending our fellow citizens to their cold early graves, and we can inconvenience ourselves. The simplest thing they cannot do. They can't do it. They are a disgrace. That's why, the other thing, Democrats, listen to me. Unapologetically, take this mantle of patriotism, strip them of it. They are not patriots. They don't know the meaning of the word. They hate. You can't be a patriot and turn your back on your community and your country and the citizens of your country. You can't just be a selfish piece of shit and call yourself a patriot. That's not patriotism. That's selfishness. That's why I always find it so ironic, too. The Republicans are always like, the troops, support the troops. There is no more socialist institution than the military and the troops. If you want to be a selfish soldier, that's another thing. They're always like, the Republicans were fighting against the soldiers having to take a vaccination. The COVID vaccine. And they, of course, they were encouraging soldiers not to take the vaccine, which is like, and you're encouraging soldiers to not give a shit about their fellow soldiers. It's just impossible to comprehend. Talk about undermining unit cohesion. You take a shot for your fellow soldiers. So, you're living in close quarters. You're working in close quarters. you do your part. And if you don't want to do that, get them the fuck out, because we don't want them. You don't want a selfish soldier. That's called a coward. That's somebody who turns their back on their fellows, on the mission, on everything. You get people killed. But, that's Republicans. And I'm sorry that this Australian broadcaster couldn't bring that up with them, with this Kari Lake character, saying, well, I guess, 1 million dead just ain't enough for you. I'm proud to say, as an Australian, we've only suffered the death of near 16,000 Australians. One is too many. I'd wear a mask all day if that saved the life of one of my fellow Australians. Well, say something like that. That's called patriotism. I'm not shocked that Kari Lake knows nothing about it. It's confusing to Republicans.
That's what Donald Trump does, doesn't he? This is what Donald Trump does, straight out of his playbook. He attacks the personal. You attack the personal if you don't like the real truth.
Liam, it was a pleasure meeting you. This has just become comical. I'm leaving. Actually,
it's not comical at all. It's pathetic. But you know what? You know what's worse is that, see her branding all over the video. She posted this. She thinks this is putting a good foot forward, or putting her. This is something she wanted to broadcast to the dummies. I found it completely appalling from beginning to end, but I don't know why you would post it. It's baffling to me. It's you look like an idiot. You look stupid. The man, the interviewer, doesn't look stupid. I guess because he said something about a different point of view or something, or different way of seeing the world. Oh, oh yes, I've exposed the bias in the media. Yes, so biased for the truth. The truth has such a liberal bias.
thank you for giving me a good laugh, because you actually...
Honey, you haven't had a good laugh your entire life. That's the sad part of being a narcissist, besides everything else. Because narcissists, they don't have authentic feelings. And according to that book I read many years ago by Martha Stout called The Sociopath Next Door, many narcissists, sociopaths, they don't end in a good way, because it's a very a lot of them suffer from addiction too. I'm an addict in recovery, but believe me, I have every fucking emotion. I wish I didn't, but the part of the sociopathy, the mimicking is, they get very good at mimicking, but they never get fulfilled. That's probably why she's doesn't care about jettisoning, the word I'm trying to say, getting rid of the whatever personality traits she formerly pretended she had in order to appeal to certain segments of her industry, I suppose. And now she doesn't need them anymore, so she's adopted a new, this new persona, this new Trumpanzee persona. And it's because she doesn't, her persona is whatever it needs to be to satisfy that gaping black hole that will never be filled. And it's that's really it. I think I nailed it there.
Some of the crazy reporters and people at CNN look almost respectable. So thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
The crazy.
Thank you, Kari.
Appreciate your time. I love the fake Yeah, thanks. Appreciate your time.
Look almost respectable. So thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, sure you do.
Thank you, Kari.
Sure
It's
you
been
do, you phony bitch. Not an authentic bone in her whole bitch body. Her whole basic bitch body. Uh-oh, come on.
That guy's a complete nut. Seriously, a complete insane person.
A complete nut. We all watched the interview. The entire show was pretty much filled up with it. Such a nut. No, honey, I only saw one nut job, and it was you. Such a nut. Still gaslighting, right? I swear, everyone. Did you see that? Cuckoo, cuckoo. And she keeps going. So,
do people in Australia listen to him?
See, that's how what's the word? Yeah, how insecure she is, and she knows that she's full of shit. So she has to stop. She knows, and also she knows she's being recorded too. But so she has to stop and say to the crew, "That's fucking crazy. That guy's nuts." Do people actually listen to him? Like, this is all supposed to be off the cuff. But it validates that she is a gaslighting bitch. She's the embarrassment. She embarrassed herself. I was embarrassed for her watching this interview. I was embarrassed for my country. Thinking about the people in Australia saying, what is going on in America? They're churning out these kooks, one after the other. God. Like, what is going on there? Thank God we were able to stop these fuckers. As far as, well, not all of them, obviously. The Republicans took the House, but...
That's the craziest thing I've ever experienced.
Is it?
Thanks, guys.
That's the craziest thing you ever experienced? Yes. Yes, Eve on the chat. She's a psychopath. That's what she's doing. This is a psychopath in action. Thanks, guys. See ya. And then she's like walking down the hall. Crazy. That was just crazy. What was so crazy, bitch? You couldn't answer a question? You use the narcissist tactic of Darvo, right? What is that again? Darvo. This Darvo narcissism. Darvo is a smoke screen used by narcissists, psychopaths, or other manipulators to conceal the truth of their behavior. Darvo enables the narcissist, psychopath, or manipulator to control how others perceive the target and the conflict. It often stuns the targeted person into confusion and silence. Exactly. Because it's like you're constantly, it's coming from every angle. It's like, what? You're what? You're upset? I said, your man Trump? No, it's not that. It's your attitude. It's, oh, now you're crazy. You've masked your beautiful children's faces. And, oh, I hate them. I hate them. This is the entire Republican playbook.
Appreciate your time, guys.
Appreciate your time, guys. Look at how good I am to the crew, everyone. Appreciate your guy. Look, and I got my smile is from ear to ear. This man, this crazy man, I don't understand how crazy a man can be. I've never seen such craziness. And he's in media? Is he really that well known? Well, appreciate you guys. I've never experienced anything.
Appreciate your time, guys.
Appreciate your time, guys. Look, I'm very down to earth with all the crew. Look at my smile. I still am smiling. You could see it, and I can't take it. I can't believe it. I'm just a regular gal walking away now, who appreciates the crew. Oh God, I'm a regular bitch of the people. I mean, woman of the person. One person, me. I'm a woman of the person, me. Myself and I. 3 people, really. Me, myself, and I. Let's see. What is the purpose of Darvo? The Darvo tactic serves many purposes. Darvo is a smoke screen used by narcissists, psychopaths, or manipulators to conceal the truth of their behavior. Darvo enables the narcissist, psychopath, or other manipulator to control how others perceive the target and the conflict. Darvo often stuns the targeted person into confusion and silence. Thus, the abuser is able to craft a scapegoat story, right? Like, oh, that he was crazy, which is used to cultivate biases against the target and rally bystanders to their cause. I've never seen such a crazy man in my life. God, is he really this crazy all the time? This guy asking questions that I keep deflecting and turning around into some kind of faux offense against me, by saying nothing words like your man Trump. That's crazy, right? He's nuts. Did you see that, guys? He's crazy. Look, I'm not crazy. I have a big smile all the time, and I'm like, thanks, guys. Oh, you Republicans, you vote for these people? You vote for them? Jesus Christ. Let's see. This occurs, for instance, this is about Darvo, when an actually guilty perpetrator assumes the role of the falsely accused and attacks the accuser's credibility and blames the accuser of being the perpetrator of a false accusation. This is what we just witnessed. In a Darvo climate, no amount of evidence will suffice as proof of the abuser's transgressions. The target will not be believed within a social circle that has been groomed by a narcissist, a psychopath, or other manipulator. That's a Trumpanzee rally. Or the entire Republican Party. On the contrary, the target will be subjected to a terrifying campaign of victim blaming by the group. Once the abuser has successfully secured the bystanders' support and conditioned them to perceive the survivor as the perpetrator, the clique collectively subjects the survivor to the merciless process of scapegoating. Fake news, fake news, fake news, right? If the survivor lives through it, they are usually driven into isolation and social death. Other outcomes can include homicide or death by self-annihilation. Well, that will not happen in this, hopefully not. The narcissist, psychopath, or manipulator's endgame is the complete destruction of the target. And in this case, we're talking about Republicans and all of their narcissistic and sociopathic and psychopathic leaders gaslighting the entire community into destroying pesky democracy once and for all. The group's empathy for the narcissist is weaponized and used to encourage negative biases about the recipient of the abuse. The narcissist, psychopath, and other manipulator do this in order to ensure that members of the dominant clique become indifferent and callous about the betrayal of the survivor. This is like everything we're all living through. When they one of their Trumpanzees bashes in the skull of an 82-year-old man, and then they fucking make jokes about it and go Halloween costumes with it. Where's Nancy? That's what we're talking about. It's like this entire filthy excuse of a party. Just a bunch of dumb bastards being manipulated by a bunch of psychopaths to destroy democracy once and for all, because they hate him. They hate it. Democracy gets in the way of their greed. You understand? That's what it's about too. That's why business people, these fucking dumb billionaires, will be they support these scumbags because they hate this dumb sheeple voting themselves, some living wages. Oh, God, I hate it. Oh, my God. Well, all right, what time is it? Where is that other thing? Well, speaking, there's so many things. I'm sorry, I went on about that a long time. Didn't mean to go for hours on Kari Lake like that, but fuck her. Right? And Sarah Jr. got bored. I know. I can't play the cat cam when the movie is playing, so he walked away. People were like, put the cat cam on, because you could hear him, but he walked away before I could take the movie down and put the camera on. He's sitting over there now sulking. Oh, he might be back. I just looked him in the eye. When you look him in the eye, it's like an invitation, which is good. I like him. He's a good boy. He's a very good boy. All right, well, speaking of the filth and the filthy fascist lies of the Republican Party, did you see, Trump's announcement? He's going to run. That's good. That's good. He will never be the president, the so-called president, despite receiving fewer votes again. It won't happen. And he will hopefully take the entire Republican Party down with him. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm cheering for that. And, when he announced it was a very low energy announcement. And where is this? Hold on. They actually locked people in. It wouldn't let them leave. It was sort of like when he first announced when he came down the escalator calling Mexicans rapists. That was a completely staged event, of course. And they hired actors to pretend to be, Trumpanzees at the time. Trumpanzees before there were Trumpanzees. And anyway, that's what he did. So he wouldn't let people leave the ballroom, and he went on this rambling speech. What the fuck? I need a new computer. Jesus Christ. And while I'm trying to dig this up, remember, please become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin to keep the show going and growing. Support Tarabuster. Check out APS Radio News. That helps. I'm looking for my videos. Here's one of the lies. We'll go. I just want to go through some of the lies. There were many lies. All lies. What am I talking about? Not many. They were like doozies. Just doozy after doozy after doozy. Oh, and the other thing I have to say while this is on my mind, I just read that Facebook, which helped bring this scumbag Trump into the White House despite receiving fewer votes, it just allowed the Russian troll farms free reign and unchecked lies just flying all over the place. on social media. But they said that now that Trump has announced that he wants to become the president again, despite receiving fewer votes, that they will not be fact-checking his lies. Does that make any goddamn sense at all? But because now that he has announced, he's allowed to lie. He's just allowed to keep the lies going. So I guess he's allowed to say the election was stolen. Yeah, Facebook fact checkers will stop checking Trump after presidential bid announcement. What is this shit? What? I mean, Facebook is a poison. It really is. These social media sites, of course, I use them. We're broadcasting on them right now. But it is something has to be done. You can't just lie. There's one thing about saying something and then having to do, I don't know, print a retraction because you made a mistake. But we cannot have a functioning democracy where lies are flying all over the place. And how do you know what's not a lie? That's like that guy we had on the show, Tony Brasnos. He was saying, oh, yes, we should just have freedom of speech, which is such bullshit. Who's going to tell you, it's, everyone should be able to know what's true. You just know. The democracy should be strong enough for people to know what's true. It's not. You can't just go out there and say shit that isn't fucking true and not expect there to be consequences or to be repercussions. And the way I put it before, it's like, everybody knows you can't yell, freedom of speech. We have freedom of speech, but you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. I remember learning this when I was a child in like second grade, probably earlier. They talked about, whatever class we had with talking about our government and freedom of speech. But yes, there are restrictions. There are responsibilities. With freedom comes responsibility. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater, for example. But these Republicans, they want us to be like, yell fire all day long in every crowded theater you can, because that's freedom. And if the play or the movie is good if people should be smart enough or engaged enough in that movie that they should be able to know if the alarm is real or not. And they should not leave their seats, until the flames are licking the back of their heads? And then they're like, holy shit, that was real. And then, so it does matter. There has to be standards. You can't have nonstop lies. And the media has always been a problem, but like with this both sides shit too, like both sides. There's no both sides to climate change, for example. Oh, well, some scientists believe this and some believe that. Well, when 99.999 believe climate change, man-made climate change is, even if it's not man-made, it's happening. And then the 0.1 that they found being paid by the oil industry says the opposite. But it's the years of the both sides. has been, grooming us like Republicans groom, their victims. So, yeah, Facebook's fact checkers will need to stop fact checking former so-called President Donald Trump following the announcement that he's running for president, according to a company memo obtained by CNN. While Trump is currently banned from Facebook, the fact check ban applies to anything Trump says, and false statements made by Trump can be posted to the platform by others. Despite Trump's ban, Team Trump, a page run by Trump's political group, is still active and has 2.3 million followers. Tuesday's memo from Meta underscores the challenges social media platforms face in deciding how to handle another Trump presidential campaign. Fuck that. The former president announced Tuesday he would seek the Republican nomination, blah, blah, blah. Shut up, Trump, please. Facebook's parent company, Meta, pays third-party fact-checking organizations to apply fact-check labels to misinformation across Facebook and Instagram. The carve-out is not exclusive to Trump and applies to all politicians, which should be not a thing. It should be even more... They should be held to a higher standard, frankly. Unreal. But given the rate fact checkers find themselves dealing with claims made by former president, a manager on Meta's News Integrity Partnership team emailed fact checkers on Tuesday saying, some of you have reached out seeking guidance regarding fact-checking political speech in anticipation of a potential candidacy announcement from former scum. Well, no, he's not a former scum. From Scummy Scum, the cancer on the scum on the cancer on the scum. The company has long had an exception to its fact-checking policy for politicians. It is not our role to intervene when politicians speak. Really? It's not. Just let the shit lay out there and stink up the place. You've done so much, damage. Why not add to it? Just add to the pile of shit you've created. Jesus Christ. Political speech is ineligible for fact check. Why? 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 Right, exactly. Haiku says on the chat, it is illegal to lie to cops, but cops can lie to us. Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Jesus, help us. Really, Jesus, where you been? Well, here's some, here. Oh, I wanted to play this video. Where is it?
My opponents made me out to be a warmonger and just a terrible person who would immediately go into war. They said during the 2016 campaign that if he becomes president, there will never be a war within weeks, and we will have wars like you've never seen before. It will happen immediately, and yet I've gone decades without a war, the first president to do it for that long a period.
Does anybody know what the fuck he's saying? So they said they called me a warmonger and not a nice person. And, I'm a very nice person. I just happen to think that Mexicans are rapists, Nazis are very fine people, and women want me to grab them by the pussy, whether, because I'm famous. Whether they like it or not. They let you do it when you're famous. They just want you to grab them by the pussy. You just walk in and grab him by the pussy. That's it. Not a very nice person. But when they said he was gonna be, he would have a war within weeks. But I went decades without a war. And like nobody's ever seen. What the fuck is he talking about?
My opponents made me out to be a warmonger and just a terrible person who would immediately go into war.
A terrible person. You poor baby.
They said during the 2016 campaign that if he becomes president, there will never
What's
be
with the breathing?
a war within weeks. And we will have wars like
And
you've never seen
wars
before.
like no one's ever seen.
It will happen immediately, and yet
It will happen immediately.
we've gone decades.
He went decades as president. No wars. There was no wars in any of the decades he was president. Like no one's ever seen. And then
Without a war, the first president to do
The
it
first
for
president.
that long a period.
forever, he never ever, as long as he was president, all those decades, he's never had a war. Like nobody's ever seen. And then, who are the idiots applauding? Then they applaud.
A period.
No one
My
ever,
opponents made me out
ever went that long. Decades. I was president for decades. Yes. I see JM on the chat. It felt like decades. For decades, like nobody's ever seen. I feel like, we all aged. Like in the old, you always see the president's picture. When they start their administration, they look nice and ready to go. By the time they're done, they look like they were dragged down a flight of steps. But that's how we look now. He looks the same. We all look like we've aged 1,000 years. That's how it feels. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what are you fucking clapping at? Woo! You went decades. I swear, they said I was not a nice person. Like nobody's ever seen. And now, they said I'm a warmonger. But I went decades without a war. And now, no one even gives me credit for that. I get no credit for going decades without a war. And guess what? I was the only one that ever did that. Woo!
For that long a period.
What the? I don't get it. I don't understand why they are applauding. Well, this is just one of many of the lies. So here's some. CNN has fact-checked 20 false and misleading claims. The con man who received fewer votes 2 times and will receive fewer votes again made in his announcement speech. Here, the first is, Trump claimed on Tuesday that the U.S. left $85 billion worth of military equipment in Afghanistan upon its military withdrawal. Of course, that's a fucking lie. I mean, it's just incredible. They just let this shit, and this is what Facebook is going to do. It's just going to let this lay out there like bullshit to stink up the place, and people will repeat it. They left $85 billion in Afghanistan. It's not true. So, okay, here's the fact check. While a significant quantity of military equipment had been provided, by the U.S. to Afghan government forces and was indeed abandoned to the Taliban upon the U.S. withdrawal. The Defense Department estimated that this equipment was only worth about $7.1 billion, and a chunk of about $18 billion provided to Afghan forces between 2005 and 2021, and some of that equipment was left behind and rendered inoperable before the U.S. forces withdrew. There is not any basis to the claim that $85 billion worth of equipment was left behind. So the estimate is either between $7 billion and $18 billion, not $85 billion, left behind. They left behind a hunk of junk. That's what they did. So Trump also claimed his administration filled up. Yes, I filled it up. This is another thing he keeps repeating. Filled up the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. But it has now been virtually drained by the Biden administration. Bullshit. Both parts of Trump's claims are false. He didn't fill up the reserve. No, he did not. Because he's a piece of dirt. He's dirt. He doesn't work. What did he do every day? He watched television. When the fake news got a hold of his schedule, remember all the executive time? That's him sitting around on his orange ass watching TV. That's what that was. Because it doesn't matter. Republicans don't give a shit about governing. They can't govern. And that's why we're going to watch the Republican shit show for the next 2 years in the House. It's all going to be Hunter Biden's laptop. The evil Hunter Biden's evil laptop review. Hearing after hearing after hearing on shit that doesn't matter. And it's all gonna be with the goal to set the con man up for some kind of comeback. That's what it's gonna be. It's all gonna be bullshit. Hunter Biden, first of all, they say it's gonna be because of the investigations into Trump's family. It's all turnabout is fair play. This is what the Republicans are saying. It's bullshit. Hunter Biden is not a member of the administration. Why don't they investigate the billions of the $2 billion that Jared Kushner got from the Saudis? Or the over 600 million little daddy's little greed-centered ghoul Ivanka made while they were squatting in their fake-ass government positions. Jesus Christ. Anyway. So what was I saying? Yes. Oh, he filled up the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Trump has repeatedly boasted of supposedly having filled up the reserve. It actually... Okay, here's the reality. It actually contained fewer barrels of crude when he left office in 2021 than when he took office. He didn't fill up shit. That's not what he does. He sucks. He sucks at everything. He sucks at infrastructure. He sucks at business. He sucks at building. He sucks at being a human being. He sucks at life. He knows it too. That's the thing. That's why he's so touchy about everything. He has to respond to every insult because it's true. That's why. You don't waste your time on petty little things when you know it's bullshit. But he knows he's a fraud. So he has to respond because he's not man enough to just be like, okay, whatever. Because he knows he's a fraud. I mean, you don't have to be Freud to figure that one out. Let's see. So he said, Okay, so he took office. He actually used the petroleum reserve and didn't fill it up. He left office with less than he came into. I mean, it's so Republican. And yes. Trump, he said that no president has ever sought or received $1 for our country from China until I came along. So he's talking about tariffs on China. As we have written repeatedly, it is not true that no president before Trump has generated any revenue through tariffs on goods from China. In reality, the U.S. has had tariffs on China for more than 2 centuries. And factcheck.org reported that in 2019, the U.S. generated an average of $12.3 billion in custom duties and a year from 2007 to 2016. And American importers, not Chinese exporters, are making the actual tariff payments. And study after study during Trump's presidency found that Americans were bearing the costs of the Trump tariffs. Of course. Thank you so much, Steve, for your super chat. You're exactly what I need to hear when this show begins. Yes, the shit show begins, right? We'll get through it. It just sucks that now we have to wait 2 years to do anything positive. It's going to be almost unbearably tedious to watch the clown show, but at least they're not going to be able to get away with much of their shit, their assaults on America. But we will. I mean, it's just like it's like a speed bump. You know, forget $35 insulin for everyone or whatever. You know, that's out off the table. We just have to continue. What they're going to do is going to try to roll everything back. They're going to make they're going to use their power to try to make everything worse. That's what the Republicans do. They have no other ideas. Because they want power. That's it. And you don't get power by helping Democrats deliver for the American people. You have to destroy. That's what I mean. It's been going on for how long? You know, this is what they do. When Obama was in office, the caucus room conspiracy to become the insurgency. They literally compared themselves to the Taliban. And that was a time when when Americans were bleeding 750,000 jobs a month. And they handed Obama a shit show, an economy that was the worst economy since the first Republican Great Depression. And their response was to make it worse. That was their plan. Not to help, not to govern, but to make it worse for the American people. Because, we got to do that. So they vote against Democrats. It's incredible. Jesus, that's why we got to get money out of politics. But oh yes, drug use and the punishment in China. Trump claimed that Chinese leader Xi Jinping told him that China has no drug problem at all because of its harsh treatment of drug traffickers. Trump then repeated the claim, saying, if you get caught stealing drugs in China, you have an immediate and quick trial. And by the end of the day, you are executed. That's a terrible thing. But they have no drug problem. Of course, it's also bullshit. Trump's claim is not true, just as it was when he made a similar claim as president. Joe Amon, director of global health at Drexel University, said that, yes, China has a drug problem, and that China, like the United States, has a large number of people who use a wide range of drugs. The Chinese government itself has reported that there were 1.49 million registered drug users nationwide. As of the end of 2021, in the past, officials in China have acknowledged that the number of registered drug users are a significant undercount of the actual drug use there. And while Trump solely credits harsh punishments for what he claims is China's success in handling drugs, the Chinese government touts its rehabilitation, education, and anti-poverty efforts. So, but that doesn't sound tough for the Republicans. And that's what they want to do here. They want tough. They want to execute people. They want to seem like the tough guy, because that means, they're very manly that way. They hate women in general. So, anything manly, but it's actually, the irony is it's actually not manly. They just look like tiny little bitches. Cowardly little tiny bitches who can't handle reality and have no ability to function in it, They hate that. They hate reality. Because they can't handle it. They can't handle modern society, normal society. So they have to drag it down to their level. They can only relate to the Dark Ages. So, yeah, let's, I don't know, why don't you just put them, drug dealers, break them on the wheel, right? They miss those days. You tie somebody to the wheel and just bang, bang, hammer them to death. That'll be great, right? How about draw and quarter them? Chop off their nether regions and their privy parts and burn them in front of them. Then pull out their entrails, burn that in front of them, and then only then will you be executed. And your parts quartered and strewn about the country at Trump's pleasure, wherever that may be. That's what they want. That's tough guy. Gas prices. He's also on many occasions. Trump's used misleading figures when discussing the price of gas. He said, we had $1.87 a gallon for gas. Now it's $5, $6, $7, even $8. First of all, bullshit. So this is misleading, and they say the price of a gallon of regular gas did briefly fall to $1.87 a gallon during the depths of the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember when nobody was driving around the world? So that, supply and demand, you would think he would know that as the great businessman, but, guess that didn't come along with Daddy's trust fund. The knowledge of business didn't come with the money that he bankrupted 5 times. That's just his trust fund. He bankrupted much more than that. So the national average for regular gas on Trump's last day in office was $2.39 a gallon. During the pandemic. And while there are some remote gas stations where prices are always much higher than the national average that on Tuesday is $3.75, not $5, $6, $7, or $8, as he's saying to the dummies. Oh, God, I can't handle it. Oh, finishing the border wall. He made another, of course, lie. He made a, Mommy, I made another lie. Mommy, look at me. I made a lie. We built the wall, and now we will add to it. Now we built the wall. See, this is, he can't keep up with his own lies. We completed the wall, and then we said, hey, let's do more. And we did a lot more. We did a lot more. And we did, as we were doing it, I'm reading this verbatim, we had an election that came up, and then they came in. And they had 3 more weeks to complete the additions to the wall, which would have been great. And they said, no, we're not going to do that. Those are the exact words. Okay? And I'm sure that garnered some kind of applause or some reaction. That's not even close to true. Trump did not complete the border wall, according to an official border wall status report written by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection 2 days after Trump left office. About 458 miles of wall were completed. Wait, this is reminding me of something. Who's that bitch? Oh, well, that's hard. That's a broad statement. Could be a lot of people. The one who said, Kristen Nielsen, yes. She said this.
We need wall.
We need wall. Remember they started to call it wall, not a wall or the wall. They just started to call it wall. We need wall. I thought I had more of her saying that, though. Like, yes, we want wall. We need wall. And then people are like, where's this coming from? We need wall. We ask for wall. I said wall. Hello.
I would ask for wall. We need wall.
What?
From Congress, I would ask for wall. We need wall.
From Congress, I would ask for wall. We need wall. You know what we really need? Tara Jr. Cam. Right? How you doing? We need Tara Jr. Cam. For Congress, I would ask for Cam. We need Junior Cam. See? Cats and people can live in harmony. We need Junior. For Congress, I would ask for Junior. We need Junior. We need Junior. Oh, look, I got 3 of me. How'd that happen? We need Junior and a wall. We need Tara Jr. All right. Trump also claimed that Democratic governors and mayors refused to ask for help even during a total breakdown of law and order. And I don't want to ever ask, don't want to ever ask to do anything. We sent in the National Guard in Minneapolis and other places. First of all, this is a false claim. Trump liked to make during his presidency. It is not true that Trump sent in the National Guard to Minneapolis and that the Democratic leaders there refused to ask. It was actually the Democratic Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, not Trump, who was the one who deployed the Minnesota National Guard. Well, that never stopped Trump from lying, right? Truth never stopped him. Facts. Let's see. During the murder of during the protests following, or the unrest in 2020 following the murder of George Floyd by the Minneapolis police, Walt, who also served in the Army National Guard for more than 2 decades, first activated the Guard more than 7 hours before Trump publicly threatened to deploy the Guard himself. So he had already activated it, and the con man was like, activate the Guard or I will. I want to look tough here, so I'm going to take credit. When Trump made this false claim in 2020, Waltz's office told CNN that the governor activated the Guard in response to requests from officials in the in Minneapolis and St. Paul's, cities also run by Democrats. Oh, geez. Mocking Biden's mental acuity, Trump said there are a lot of bad things, like going to Idaho and saying, "Welcome to the state of Florida." You know, he's mocking Biden. Facts first, though, that never happened. That never actually happened. Like Trump, Biden, like Trump, has made occasional gaffes in referring to places, but this one is fiction. At a rally earlier this month, Trump claimed that Biden had gone to Iowa and wrongly claimed to be in Idaho. But that was false, and a claim that was first published by a satirical website. You see? You see what I'm saying, guys? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just keep truth. Just lie, and you should be able to figure it out. But now, you know what'll happen? We will keep hearing about it and hearing about it. It doesn't matter how many times we'll say that never happened. That's not true. It will never penetrate the empty minds of Trumpanzees. Trump says during his speech about Thanksgiving, good luck getting a turkey for Thanksgiving. Number one, you won't get it, and if you do, you're going to pay 3-4 times more what you paid last year. Of course, this isn't even close to true. Turkey prices have increased since last Thanksgiving, but they haven't come close to tripling or quadrupling. The weighted average advertised in supermarket prices of a whole frozen hen is 97 cents per pound. That is only 10% from last year. The prices of a whole, I don't even want to talk about this. It makes me sick. But you know what I'm saying. They're full of shit. Anyway. So, after boasting how he's viewed by Latinos, Trump claimed that along the border in Texas, I won every single community. I won every single one, he said. Greg Abbott had told him that he won every single area along the border, the longest since Reconstruction. So they write, we don't know what Abbott told Trump, but that's not even true. It's not even close to true that Trump won every single area along the border with Mexico. Trump lost border states in both of his previous races, and also lost a numerous border communities in Texas and elsewhere both times. You can see in the New York Times maps here and here, Trump did make some gains within some Texas border counties, but becoming the first Republican in decades to win some of them, but his claim about how he supposedly won all is inaccurate. Of course. As we speak, inflation is the highest in 50 years, he said. This is during his speech last night. Of course, this isn't true. He exaggerated a statistic that would have worked. That would have worked in his favor even if he had recited it accurately. October's year-over-year inflation rate was 7.7. If it is the highest since 1982, if you don't count the previous months of the year, which is higher. So ignoring those is not the highest in over 50 years. Okay, whatever. You get the point. He's a piece of dirt. That's the point. He's dirt. And a lot of Americans like dirt, I guess. They like the lies, they like the con. They like because they are they hate America. They hate their fellow Americans, and they just don't like it. They don't like sharing. They would rather be lied to than actually have to evolve or mature in a democracy. Stop being mean to other people. Maybe look at themselves for a minute and say, why do I hate everybody in this country? So anyway. All right, it's time to go get unconscious. I got more stories, but we'll get back together on Friday evening at 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Friday Tarabuster. Yes, Junior. Junior needs some treats too, right? He's acting crazy. Why are you crazy? He just went to bite the whole camera. Crazy. Look at us. We love each other. No one will ever understand our love, Junior. No, they will. They have cats too. They know. They know what it's like. Isn't he a good boy, though? Isn't he a good boy? He's very good. Hey, except when he does that. He's getting... Look, I got a picture of Francis Jr. on my shirt. We got cats here. All right, guys. If you can, please become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Hang out at APS Radio News and tell Charlie that Tara sent you. And, yeah. Keep coming back. And works if you work it. So work it. You're worth it. Vote blue. And we'll get through it. We will get through this. The coming shit show. Whoops. Hey, you just bunked me, man. You bunked me. Yes. All right, my friend. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Let's get back together on Friday night. And remember, we will win. We didn't win the House this time, but we will win eventually. You know why? Why, Junior? Because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. Hey, relax, buddy. Relax. My name is Tara Devlin. This is Tara Jr. Ow! Ow! You're stepping on my keyboard. Stop it. And yes, what was I saying? Yeah. We stick together, we win. I'll see you on Friday night. Hey, you pressed the button.